We'll call the Senate Finance Committee meeting to order. Chairman Blake, perfect timing. We're just getting started. We'll start with a confirmation hearing as the first portion of the meeting. Lee, do you want to call a roll so we can make sure we have a quorum here officially for the record? And the next bill is Senate Bill 368, sponsored by Senator White, and he is with us today. Don, would you like to take the microphone and give us a description of the bill, please? And there's an amendment with it as well, so you can talk about both. That'd be helpful.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's unusual for us to sit through each other's committee meetings, and thank you for the Veterans Bill. That's much appreciated. Thanks to the entire committee. The pertinence of this is probably the bill I'm sponsoring is without a tax bill, maybe ahead of the game a little bit, but I think down the road in phase 2 of these negotiations, we will have a tax bill. And this has to do with waste coal energy and reclamation tax credit. We currently have 15 coal mines or coal refuge to energy facilities in the state of Pennsylvania. And as of 2012, these facilities have helped to remove close to 200 million tons of coal refuse around my area, and John, I think it affects yours, and certainly Senator Wozniak. We have our share of bony piles as we grew up knowing them. And a lot of great progress has been done in Western Pennsylvania, but it needs to continue. It's estimated that this land problem, abandoned land issue, could be a potential $2 billion issue for DEP down the road. The money from the Abandoned Mine Land Reclamation Program, the FED program, has made progress, but it's grossly underfunded, and it's a pretty much overwhelming task and needs to be revitalized. Our Alternative Energy Portfolio Standards law recognizes coal refuse as an alternative energy source, and I think that the coal refuse from abandoned mines, let's face it, affect land use, water, and land and air pollution. So I think it's timely. It's something we should be funding. Senate Bill 368 will establish a waste coal energy and reclamation tax credit to ensure the industry continues to grow and can supplement PA's efforts to clean up and reclaim the mine damaged lands and waterways. Now, the tax credit will be $4 for each ton used, not to exceed $45 million per year, a 10-year duration beginning in tax year 2016. So it wouldn't have any effect on this year's budget. It would be a 2016-2017 issue, but I certainly hope that any of us who live in the energy field understand the impact that our years of neglect in enforcing laws and environmental issues through World War I, World War II, where we needed the coal bad, and we went hell-bent in one direction, and we are paying that price now. And I think that it's here to stay. So I'd ask very much for the support of this committee on something that I'm very passionate about. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And from someone from the anthracite coal fields of northeastern Pennsylvania, I can appreciate your dialogue here with us today, Senator White, so I commend the maker of the bill. I think we've been shortchanged at the federal level with respect to the reclamation. I know that the cleanup is slow, notwithstanding what you've described that's being done by these 15 facilities. I think I also would say that the acid mine runoff, the compromise of our streams, our rivers, is traceable to this legacy. So anything that we can do to accelerate the reclamation and the cleanup, I think, is is a positive thing. And that said, I think it's important, and I know the chairman will be reminded of these remarks from a previous Finance Committee meeting, but the issues of tax credits, and by the way, I've been as guilty as a legislator to do economic development by tax credit, but we do need to be mindful of the impact of these laws of merit on our revenue and our fiscal position. So I just want to be on the record, the chairman and I have been trying to get some time together to come up with some more comprehensive tax credit standards or policies that we could use in measuring the merits of these proposals. But I will support this going out of committee today because I believe in it and I feel passionate about it as you do, but just want to be on the record that we need to be mindful of the impact on our general fund. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know Senator Wozniak wants to be recognized as well.
Senator Wozniak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate what you're doing here, Senator White. Absolutely. Those bony piles we see there, that was the price of freedom, and the federal government has not really snuffed up to help us out there. And the other thing I want to tell the people is that, particularly environmentalists, there is no way in God's creation that you can take that stuff that they put on the sand dunes in Jersey Shore and stick them on our bony piles and make it grow to keep it from eroding into our creeks. They've been there for 100 years. I would think if nature had something, it would have figured it out by now. The EPA has continually squeezed, and particularly on our cogen plants. They run on a very thin financial margin. The EPA is looking at the effluent coming out of the stacks, and they don't look at the collateral good that they're doing. One, creating a lot of jobs, particularly the truckers who are moving the bony piles, because it's sort of like a bullseye, and the older it gets, the further away from the power plant it gets. But they don't count the cleaning of the streams, the elimination of these huge black mountains that nothing grows on. I have watched where they have drawn down those bony piles, they have seeded it and turned baseball fields out of it. The creek that was once orange isn't as orange as it used to be, still a little too orange for our needs, but at least we are getting a positive good at it, and anybody in this room, I think it would be pretty darn dark if these lights would go out. And people don't appreciate coal and what it does. I know that we have the issue because the new game in town is tax credits. And I'm sure that we're probably at $500 million in tax credits already functioning in this budget. But this is one that I really think it does two things. One, it's cleaning up our environment, it's creating jobs, and eventually for the environmentalists, once our bony piles are gone, so are these. So let's use the energy, let's clean up our environment, and let's help them out with this tax credit, and that's enough of my pontificating for today. So thank you, Senator.
Okay, do we have a motion on the amendment? Senator Brown, Senator Hutchinson seconds. Any questions on the amendment? Any negative votes on the amendment? Motion to move the bill as amended, Senator Brown, Senator Ament. Any questions or discussion on that? Any negative votes? Okay, we'll move that one out of committee. Thanks very much, Dawn White.